Future Proof is sponsored by Learn Smart Academy, online revision courses for GCSE and A-Level. All your revision in one place, organised for you, interactive and game-changing. Hello, thank you so much for joining me, Sarah Hopwood. Thank you for just tuning in to Future Proof, the programmes that are looking at how to do things. And this is Series 8, where I'm really hoping that I can share some nuggets of information. Doesn't make me right on everything. So if nothing else, if it's just being thought-provoking that enables you to go away and chat away to other people about what you've heard, argue with it or endorse it. If it's promoting conversation, then I believe that the purpose of these programs is being achieved just by stimulating thought and hopefully enabling you to just find your next steps forward as you navigate the landscape in front of you. And we all know it's changing, it's not so certain for some people, yet other people have really landed on their feet as well. So I'm hoping that this ticks the box for everybody. In the last program, I introduced Toyota 7 Waste and talking about the structure of a business that you always business changing, if you like, and continuous improvement. And when you're doing it, starting change the structure of a business. And I've talked before about how some businesses have brought in agile working, for example, and had to make the changes around supporting that, from introducing the idea to all the staff, to looking at how all the teams are going to work, to looking at hot desking, to maybe thinking of the psychology. There's a lot that shows by keeping, for example, a colour threading through a business and through departments and into different offices. It links everybody together just by seeing this kind of trail. There's all sorts of things associated with agile working. And so that's just an example of maybe structural changes. And then right in the middle is waste. You need to take the waste out so that you've cleared the decks before you can then really instill the new beliefs, the new thinking, the new patterns of behaviour. If you like, this is how we behave round here, which I think should actually be on job descriptions and should be assessed in appraisal processes. This is how we behave around here, as well as KPIs and other things there. But those come later once you've got rid of the waste. And what we're focusing on now is the waste and how to get rid of it. So I was talking about the 7 wastes in the last programme. You can watch these programs on YouTube, but Latest Television are very, very good at repeating these programs too, so it will come round again. And once you've identified, and maybe I will just go back and just have a look at that grid, this is what we're talking about, where the 7 waste areas are and where you and your business might be losing money and you don't even know it. The times I've been into business and I've looked at, for example, aesthetic intelligence, and I've said to a business, you know, what does your business look like for anybody walking in the door? And they say, oh, it's fine. I say, okay, I'm going to come in tomorrow with a camera and I'm not going to touch anything, but I'm literally going to take pictures, and I did camera rather than video, take pictures of what I see as I walk through your front door. And when we reviewed those pictures, there was a wheelchair not kept very well, just kind of jammed back in a corner. There was a bin with a dirty lid that was jammed open. There are all sorts of things which, you know, we just become blind to when they are around us all the time. And it's just, you're going to lose clients. They'll think twice before coming in, or a new client even. There's all aesthetic intelligence. It can rate very, very highly on people. And if they don't find the aesthetics around them pleasing, then it will put them off pursuing what their original intentions were. So that is a waste. Somebody who was possibly going to buy and doesn't is still considered a waste. So that's what the waste audit looks like, and that's what we have talked through. And then I was talking about getting priorities and then mapping them against ease of removal of that waste and the savings. And the box that we should be concentrating on is that top right hand box. So whatever features is easy to remove and it will save us a lot of money, those are the things you should be targeting first. So here is another example too of using the 7 waste to help save money. And what this is about is avoiding, and I'm not going to talk through the content of this, but as you look at it, the numbers, the money that you're looking at is either you, let's pretend, if you like, you have lost that money through the errors, so you will get it back if you get rid of those errors. Or it's reducing expenses. You know, I was business manager for a care home, and the recruitment process was great, but looking after the staff wasn't always what it should have been. So the turnover of staff was extremely high, which meant that they had to get agency nurses in, and lots of them too. So the expense of the time spent on recruitment, all the induction processes that we did, and the expense of the agencies, and that's a very, very good example of waste. If we had smartened up the recruitment, if we had smartened up, if you like, looking after and valuing and listening to the staff and all those things, if things had been tightened up, then retention would have increased. It would have reduced then the expenses of the agencies. So all the numbers here are basically money that examples of money you could get back. In other words, that money saved by avoiding loss or avoiding expense, or, you know, as I say, getting those clients back that you would have otherwise lost, impacts on your profit line. And it's very, 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 I can't say how valuable it is. So we have to work out what needs doing, and the next step is to look at what you can do. And teams. Now, I have covered project teams, but this is what we're looking at. When you choose a team, what size should it be? What resources does it need? How long should those teams meet? And when you, as a business owner, if you set up project teams, please give those members time to meet. You know, sometimes we want our cake and eat it, and we expect exactly the same output from you and for you to do exactly what you've always done. Oh, and by the way, we're putting you on a project team and we need you to do this. And if you can, squeeze in 2 hours a week to meet as a project team. You know, we need to give them space to deliver on what we're asking them to do. So expectation in the workplace, I would suggest, needs adjusting if you really want a project team to ultimately save you money. You know, the results you're asking for them is to save you money. So, you know, give them the courtesy of giving them time to actually do what you want them to do. Who will be the leader? What are the other team members' roles? And you can ask them to take on another role and say, look, I know that you're usually a leader, but we've nominated so-and-so as a group. So this time I want you to maybe be the thinker. Could you be quietly thinking, strategically thinking, and thinking of the what ifs and scenario plan? Can you change your role? People love doing it. It's literally like just having that freedom to, if you like, be somebody else, to wear another hat. If you know about black hat, the hats, you know, very, very good. What training will the team require? Really, very important. There's somebody I know now that's in a management role for a business and they've never really had any proper management training. What is the likelihood of a trip coming at some point or another because they aren't fully equipped to do the role that their job title is giving them? And what type of team should you use? And, you know, that is, you know, maybe a remote or, you know, physically present. You know, are you going to have different dynamics within that team? And it does depend on the outcomes. So all of it outcome based. What is the outcome that you are looking for? And then make sure you choose the right people in that team who can bring you those outcomes. So maintaining the process, 8-week cycle, I've talked about that because the big thing, it factors in accountability and reporting back, and also then keeping everybody informed and then going again. Change the team if you need to. It could be that you actually do it in segments. that some lot get it going, and then you might actually revamp and get, and that could be quite creative. Just make sure it's not disruptive. That can be a sideline to it. Always celebrate success. I've talked about the SMARTER goals: specific, measured, agreed, relevant, time-bound, evaluate and reward. Recognition, do celebrate, and always recognise the right people. Sometimes if a good outcome is there, or someone comes up with a great idea, then before you know where you are, perhaps somebody above you, or maybe the leader, trumps it and just gives it and infers that it's their idea when it isn't. Give the recognition to the right places, and also measure the benefits, because it's all very well celebrating success, but at the end of the day, we're in business to earn money, to impact on our profits, and to save loss. Just measure that you are achieving what you think and that you wanted to achieve, and make sure there's not some form of mirage happening and that there's a load of stuff falling off the back of the lorry. And 80-20 rule: 20% of what you do brings you 80% of the results that you want. Be strategic.